As you can see, this is just a continuation of last week based on the beautiful outfit and the fact that I have intentionally not erased the board yet to help you have continuation. Again, my apologies. 30 minutes is too long. Last week should have been broken into two. This should have been part 3. And there's so much stuff I wanted to cover that I didn't, and same for today. But that's the joy of it. That's how we have something to go over every week. We are in closing. Leverage, intimidation, manipulation. Intellectual manipulation is what we just covered. Today, I want to cover emotional manipulation. Now, based on that, I'm now going back and erasing everything because we're going to jump around in some areas here. And I sure hope I do as good a job with this as I have up in my head. Emotional manipulation. Again, this is not a matter of relevance of being evil or not evil, nice or not nice. This is a matter of reality of a situation. Emotional manipulation is the fact that people are more likely based on their heart. I love drawing pictures because I'm horrible at it. Than they are, I should have made it all wobbly, on their brain. I'm going to write brain so somebody knows what that is. People will use facts to justify the emotion. Very few people totally make an intellectual decision. They use the facts and the intellectual to justify the decision they have already made emotionally. That is a very phenomenal point. And I might be running down a rabbit hole there I really didn't mean to go down. But emotional manipulation is a very, very, very different beast. Finding what they care about. Finding what the... Two ways to go with this. One side of the post is just follow what they're saying they want. When you've got the client that you can tell they want to do this, they just need the facts to get there. Throw them out whatever you need to. That's easy. That's, man, I want to sign. I'm just, it's like the easy one. Get them approved for the loan. They've already emotionally decided they want to do it. Make them secure. Give them the intellectual. Make it go. Introduce them to a client. Show them some stats of people that have done it before. Show them the examples of what's been done before. Show them who has done this and succeeded and made their life better. You gave them the intellectual, justify the emotional, boom, we're good to go. I want to talk more on the other side. What drives them? Okay? There's 2 points on this, and I better write this down so I don't forget. Number 1, subconscious. Number 2, core. Thought I was going to say conscious, didn't you? Core needs, Maslow's hierarchy needs, all that kind of stuff. What is the core drive? I want to talk about one for a second, and I'm going to kind of hope, I hope I do this right. I want to have fun with it. I want to talk about the most core drive. I'm going to go all Freud on you. What is it all people are after? Period. Everything else is a drive by that. All intellectual decisions are made based on an emotional desire for sex. All financial decisions, all leverage, all manipulation, all are totally 100% based on a desire for sex. I'm not going to tell you whether it's true or not. I'm going to tell you if Freud's right or not. I'm not going to tell you I've studied Freud enough that I even have a right to have made that statement, because I have not. But we all know the basic core of that, and I want to go there for a second, because whether he is right or not, whether he is true or not, the reason he came up with those views to the level to which we know them, and the reason they have held and continued on to the point I was taught these in high school so I could throw out these little facts, is because we all know it's true. We all know it. Why do we kowtow, man? Why do we kiss our wives' fanny? Why do we let her beat us into a life we don't want, into a personality we don't want, all this stuff? Why? Because at the end of the day, she can give us the sex, which is what we're there for. That is not. It is a powerful manipulating tool. Problem is this. If you are not offering your client the sex, which you are not, how does this have relevance? One magic, powerful metaphor word. I hope I spell it right. I should have looked it up. Eunuch. If I misspelled it, please send me an email and tell me how I should have spelled eunuch. Or I'll look it up and know next time. Eunuch. You are the eunuch. What is a eunuch? A eunuch was a man that was taken as a slave, had his manhood taken away, which changed his personality, made him smarter. Interesting stat. Ladies, feel free to use that for fun. Made him a harder worker. Made him a non-threat. Physically, almost non-threat, period. They became bald. They became very dumpy, very soft, so be it, but extremely intellectual, extremely hard workers. Also, non-threat sexually. Men in the Mideast that kept harems, eunuch was who took care of the harem. Eunuch was the guard of the harem because you knew you wouldn't do anything when you were there too much. The eunuch could be trusted. The eunuch was a non-threat. The eunuch in a modern day imagery would be, and I know I'm going to spell this wrong, the psychiatrist. The marriage counselor. Should have gone with that one. I could have spelled it. The person you come to that's a non-threat. It's a non-issue that's safe to share everything with. A one that is very huge in modern culture. When I offend you, I do not mean to offend you with this. I'm going to because I can't think of a better one. The gay. Girls love the gays. Why do women so love to have a gay friend? Not saying it's not because they're fabulous or wonderful or fantastic, all that. That is not my point. Because they're non-threat. This person that has all the stuff they want, they can see the images they want, that is not competition, but can be an answer, a sounding board, a safety, a metaphorical eunuch to them. You're not a competition. The guys I'm going after don't want you. You're not a threat. So what my girlfriends can't tell me, you can. But you have a similar interest, similar personality, and similar style. For one thing, we're both after men. So, and that's why the men with the, that's another story. Love the gay friend. Love the safety of the eunuch. The extent to which you are going to use sex as an emotional manipulation is the extent to which you can be seen as the gay friend, the marriage counselor, the psychiatrist, or the eunuch. In other words, your client somewhere, and I'm dead serious, somewhere in their decision-making process on this decision they are making with you that you are trying to get them to close on, somewhere sex is a driving force. At some level, if it's not the core force, it is part of. Somehow, at some stage, they believe by making this decision, they're going to have more and or better sex. How is that relevant to you? How can you use that? And you cannot get that information if they think there's that creepy vibe going on. You have to be the eunuch. You have to be the contrast to the famous Harry Met Sally quote of men and women can't be friends because sex always gets in the way. You have to be where that's not true. You're the advisor, you're the counselor, you're their consultant, you are the closer. Amazing. Once people think you're the eunuch, what they will share with you. I have had people sit in my office that I have talked to for less than 10 minutes that have shared the most amazing details of their purpose and goal. And the design of the master bathroom of their home. Boy, I hope that doesn't get me in trouble. Edit that at some level, somebody. Because it's true, though. Fascinating to me. I guess what it says about me is kind of embarrassing, but that's a whole other story. Open up that possibility. Don't be a pervert. Don't be a freak. If you are, you kill what's necessary. Be open to it, though. Accept that it's a reality out there. Let them share. And especially let them share without sharing at all. Let somebody tell you, we want a big shower that 2 people can be in at the same time. And just go ahead and take it as if what you're telling me is y'all are really busy and you're always running late and you need to be able to shower at the same time. Wink, wink. And you don't really do that, by the way. They get it too. But when they're like, holy cow, I'm safe. Now you're sharing. Now you're bonding. Now you're the marriage counselor helping me get a little more. Now you're the gay friend that advises me on how to get the right guy. Do I really look fabulous in this or not? Or can you flub me? You go, now you're the eunuch that protects and makes sure everything's right. You just became huge. Why? Because you, my friend, are helping them get the sex. Come on. Talk about emotional manipulation. Oh, and it's not evil. It's not wrong. It's service. It's kindness. It's love. What are they after? That's it. You helped them get it. Bless you. Why would you not take advantage of this? Why would you not provide this service to them? All right. So much more on the core level than just that, by the way. What are some of the other cores? I should have left that up there. Security, and you can make a case that security, by the way, can be separate from that. That's where Freud gets into flaws. That's a totally different thing. Sex, security, comfort, what?
The extras.
Extras. There's so many things that are core emotional desires, values, needs. We would be here for hours for going on those. We covered them before. We'll cover them again. Take those and go with. Here's the one where life gets fun. Here's one where you will never grow out of your craft. You will never master this too much. What is their emotional desire? They don't know. What is their emotional drive they won't admit to themselves? What is their emotional drive that they haven't been able to break out of? What is the push? What is the thing? What is their tie they care about? You've heard me tell the story about the woman with the child that was the most important thing. Child had a deformity. Knowing that child was number one insecure and everybody else saw that child as important shit. That stuff should be easy. It's not, but it should be. What is their push? What is their drive? Religion can be huge in this area. Huge motivator. Following this is a series of questions and reading the body and guiding along. If you can find the core, the base, I shouldn't say core, I was already using that word, the base drive that is affecting this decision at a subconscious level, you got magic, my friend. You can then use the brain to give the heart what they want. What is my core? What is the subconscious level? What is the inner child being fed? What is the need being fed? Who am I doing it for? How many men go in and make a big decision and they're just a brutal negotiation? Brutal, harsh, killing you. You can't get there. Negotiating, boom, 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 all the way. And this guy's fighting tooth and nail, and you can't find a placement. You can't find intellectual leverage. You can't find emotional, the sex, all that stuff is bull credit, doesn't make sense. Nothing is coming through for leverage. I can't intimidate this guy, it's too strong, and you can't get there. You know why? Because you haven't gotten here. Because that guy's fighting totally with armor. He's not emotionally attached to this decision. This way back here is what he's really working for, and you don't even know what this guy's trying to buy. You don't even know what he's trying to meet a need for. He is a friggin' army of brutality and strength coming at you. He owns you. And you may give him what he wants because he may be so intellectual he knows himself and he's coming at it and using all these shields to go. And so it may win and may be good. But the reality is this rule, you got to know and you got to see and go. So if it turns out that what this man's drive is no greater person in the world ever lived than his grandmother. Because his mother passed away young. And his father was too busy and ended up getting remarried when he was still young. He did, and focusing on the new family and the stepmom we didn't bond to. But grandma was there. Grandma loved him. Grandma cared for him. Grandma held him. Grandma gave him a bond to family. And Grandma passed away before he could ever give a physical manifestation. And because of all the wounds, he always doubts that he was able to emotionally show her how important she was. But Grandma always wanted the big house. She didn't even know she did, but he did. He heard how she talked when they were driving home from church, and she liked to wander through the old neighborhood with the grand mansions and see how beautiful they were. He doesn't want the big house for his wife. He doesn't want the big house for sex. He doesn't want the big house for himself. Matter of fact, the stress of paying for it is killing him. There's a part of him that doesn't want it. But he's got to have it for Grandma. Once you can find that Grandma is who we're buying this house for, you can help this guy. You want to just use it for, we're going to manipulate there? Cool, you can. But again, I go back to my core I taught a couple weeks ago, love matters. Love is the most important part of yourself. All right, now let's get the house Grandma needs. That also gets you the sex that makes your wife happy, that you can afford and doesn't stress you out as much. How do we fill Grandma's need? How do we fill the need for you to make that manifestation? That's what we're buying for. It's not bad. Now let's use intellectual to get there. And here's the secret. Here's the kicker. Very, 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 very rarely do you admit when you understand. That hurts them. That hurts your client. Makes them feel petty. Makes them feel less than you. Makes them feel not as intelligent. Makes them feel as if they can be used and abused and manipulated and tricked. Makes them feel like they failed. Grandma. You use it to their betterment and their good. You use it to guide them through the process. You use them to help get those needs. You help the things fall in place. Sometimes they'll click it and they'll get it and they'll get that you got it. And if that happens, they're going to love you even more and you're going to have a cool relationship for a long time. Sometimes they never will. Doesn't matter. Your job is to provide. There's so many different aspects to this. Group setting and sales. Last one, I've got to cover this and I'm going to be quick because I know I'm going long. Doing a seminar the other day and I can't. You talk to anybody that public speaks, preacher, comedian, singer, whatever, they will tell you got to connect to the audience. They feel it. Psychiatrists will tell you it's a lie, it's a magical thing, and whatever. It's real. Now, whether it's real because it's just the emotion of the performer and they got some little connection that made them feel secure, so now they're performing at their best, which makes the audience enjoy it more. So this is all really just very scientific things that we're basing on this stuff. Maybe. Don't care. What I know is the reality of how it happens. I also happen to believe in the spiritual life, so I think it's true. When you're speaking, you feel that connection. You know when you got the bond going. You know, all right, bam, we're finally there. I got the audience. And when you don't have it, sometimes you do a great speech. Sometimes you still get results from it, but you're always, ugh. And your goal is, where's my hook? Where's my catch? How do I get this person? How do I grab this audience member? How do I get them back to me? I'm sitting there doing this, and I can't catch them. I got a nice crowd, 26 people, good setting. The attention came, and we're going, and it's not bad. I haven't lost them. There's nothing negative, but I can't get a connect. I get a guy that asks me, what about playing in my home and stuff? And I get going, and she gives me an eye contact, and I know I got it. I've got this gal. I know what she cares about. I know what her emotion is here. Am I going to be taken care of? Am I going to be protected? Am I going to get what I'm looking for? Is my husband, which by the way is the thing I learned, is he going to be satisfied? Is he going to believe? I've had this dream of building this, but he doesn't see the money, so there's always some money. How can I get what cost will make him happy? And I give all this, and I just focus on her. And she is so desperate for somebody to pay attention to this area of her life. It's why she was there. That she eats it up. And it becomes one of those movie things where it's a tunnel. And I knew exactly what I was doing because I could feel it. And I just poured into her. And I stayed there for like 5 minutes, which is an outrageous amount of time to focus on one person during a group setting. And we just talked. And it was like a magical glowing rope connected. But the beauty was, because I could feel it, I owned the room. They got caught up in it. They got caught up in the swell. I became not just a speaker telling the facts, not just a nice guy who knew this stuff, not somebody who had been successful that helped them be successful. I became a guy that cared at that level for a poor little old woman whose husband didn't even come. Wow, if this guy can bond like that here, I can trust him. I can go, all of this emotion poured out, I could feel it. I owned that room. Didn't have to keep going. I went ahead and covered the rest of the material. It was done. The sale was made. That was emotional manipulation at its finest. It wasn't done evil. It wasn't done unintentional. I really did care. The fact that there was reward was good. The fact that those people bonded to it, they should have. Because I care about them too, and they were able to see it. All plays together. You've got to understand the emotion. You've got to commit your emotions. You've got to tie to the emotion. You've got to see what the emotion is working for them, and you've got to be willing to bond to it. You've got to be willing to take the exhaustion that comes from owning their emotions with them. Ooh, should have gone there big time, but we're out. Ownership. That is a very important class to be taught next time. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.